This is the story of Tutanekai Hinemoa. So once upon a time, probably 1600, around that time, in the year 1600, Hinemoa lived at this area, at Ōwhata, with her parents. Her dad, Umukaria, her mother, Hinemaru. So they lived here. She was a beautiful young lady back in the day, and of course the parents were looking at all the future that could be achieved for connections with other tribes, building resources and all the rest of it. Tutanekai, he lived on Mokoia with his parents, Whakaue and Rangiuru. Whakaue is the dad, Rangiuru is the mum, and they lived with the family. Tutanekai Hinemoa is the eldest brother, then Tuteiti, then Ngāra Nui, and then the sister Kōauau. Eventually they met, and Tutanekai, they were from two different tribes. Although they were connected, they met at a gathering, and Tutanekai and Hinemoa just looked and knew that they were destined to be together. The unfortunate for that was that both sets of parents already had other plans for the two of them. Tutanekai and Hinemoa, they ended up having to have a secret plan. The parents, of course, they kind of figured that these two must be scheming, and so both sets of families tried to keep them separate. So Hinemoa, her father every day would get all the canoes up from the water, so there was no way Hinemoa could jump into a waka and paddle to the island. On the island, Tutanekai's dad and his mother, Rangiuru, would just keep an eye on Tutanekai, make sure he's not go disappearing in his canoe. The main thing is that everybody was trying to ensure that they don't meet, that they don't end up together. Tutanekai and Hinemoa, they had to have some kind of a plan. Tutanekai said to Hinemoa, on calm nights when there is no wind, I will play the Kōauau. This Kōauau that I'm playing, it's not just any Kōauau, it is made out of the arm of a tohunga. And I'm going to need every benefit I can get from getting that sound to travel from the island, which is about 6 kilometres that way, across the water to be heard here. And because there was nothing between Iri Kapua, the rock, and the lake, there was a clear sight and hopefully clear sound that can travel. On calm nights, Hinemoa would come up and sit on Iri Kapua. I'm not a scientist, but we think that the sound can bounce across the water like rocks skipping across the water. So maybe that's about the only way that they could have heard. But Hinemoa did hear. She did hear the Kōauau on nights when it was dead calm. Because the mum and dad had managed to have all the canoes taken up, Hinemoa then started to think of other resources that might help. And so taha, all the different kinds of containers that are hollow, that can float, so Hinemoa used those to help her as floating devices to get from here to Mokoia. Tutanekai lived on a part of Mokoia called Kaiweka. It's a big flat area, and that's where the people of Whakaue lived. On this night that Hinemoa swam across, Tutanekai went back to the pā. During the night he decided to be thirsty, so he asked his helper to go and get some water. So the helper went down, got some water, and was just getting ready. It was dark, of course, it was at night time. And as he turned to go back up to Tutanekai to carry the water to him, somebody knocked the water out of his hand, and he couldn't see who it was. He got a fright, so he ran back up to the pā and told Tutanekai that somebody is hiding down by the bath. Tutanekai was all armed up and ready to fight whoever is hiding in the bushes down there, only to find it was Hinemoa in the bath. Of course, it's not just any bath, it's a beautiful thermal bath. The name of that bath is called Waikimihia. He had his cloak on him, and so he called her out and wrapped the korowai around her, took her up to his place, and then that was their first night together. The next day, Tutanekai's parents, they're looking around, and they're going, where is Tutanekai? What's going on? Is he sleeping in? He should be out helping us to do all the work that we normally do every day. And they couldn't find Tutanekai, so Whakaue said to one of the men, go and check his whare, see if he's still in there. When they went over to have a look, poked his head in through the door, and oh, where? He was expecting to see 2 feet in there, and instead he now saw 4. There were 4 feet underneath the korowai. So he immediately ran back, told Whakaue and Rangiuru, Tutanekai is in there with somebody. So Whakaue and Rangiuru immediately panic and run to the house of Tutanekai and find the pair. The amazing thing that happened was that Whakaue and Rangiuru accepted Hinemoa right then and there. Then they let Hinemoa's parents know that we have the daughter over on Kōauau Island, and these two are together, and yes, they will be together forever from now. Around the lake, as I've said before, all the descendants from one side to the other side, they're all connected, either through the grandparents, the parents, the siblings, and then down to the children. And so one way or another, they're all connected between Ngāti Whakaue and Te Ureo Tūhaurangi. And so between them, they are now connected between our 2 ancestors here of Tutanekai and Hinemoa.